and welcome to the Blue House Bull session. We are back here bowling with you today, this Wednesday, which happens to be a Friday. The what of May? The 22nd of August. The 22nd of August. There are schools back in session.
Most of them are back in session by now.
Bro, bro,
Mhm.
bro. Where did this year go? It gone. It left. This year has disappeared on us. I don't know what's been going on, man, but it's been fast. How you been? We took last week off. I don't remember why we took last week off because I had a meeting. I
Mhm.
had a secret Zeldathon meeting. That was fun and exciting. But you had to wait. You had to wait till right now to start barking, didn't you? But Fuzzy can back me up. He was not barking while we were getting everything together and getting ready to go. Here, take that. It's the last bribe I got. We've been better about it. I know this is something you and I have discussed in person a fair amount. We have been Sorry, I just saw the notification. Ashley and I are making a more concerted effort to not overload the dog with treats at all times. So we've put kind of like a upper bound quantifier on how many we give, and we portion it out based on who's going to be with him more of the day. And it's
Right.
been working pretty well. But today is the first day under the new system that we're doing the show. So I don't have a ton of bribes to offer him to not be insane.
I get one of those treat dispensers.
Well, in this case, I understand what he was barking about in this case. Specifically, it is because Sarge came to sit in front of my door, and he's scared of Sarge. So he wanted to come in here to see what was going on, and she was just kind of chilling there, and he doesn't want to go past her because he might set her off, and then she'd take a swipe at him, and she's sharp and pointy, and he's a coward. I love him dearly, but he's a coward. You can tell he spends a lot of time with me. He's scared of the cats. I love the cats with all my heart. I'm scared to them. Like they're menacing creatures. We got in to the playtest for Ratcoin. I snort laughed earlier because I just saw the notification that Fuzzy had launched it. Our dear friend Indy sent an invite into our circle. I can do this, right? Yeah, it's 3 E's, 2 X's. Okay, I remember that. Such a I love you, dear, but your name is confusing to remember sometimes because of how many letters are repeated how many times. But it is now
It's
committed
like
to. Yeah.
it's like vacuum. I just double all the letters.
Yeah. VAACCUUMM. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, and then one e at the end just for good measure.
Yeah. or
I, I yeah.
we're from Ohio. We've lived in Ohio more or less our whole lives with few exceptions. I know there are technicalities there and all of that, but the overwhelming majority of our lives we have lived in Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
What's doubled in Cincinnati?
The C.
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell. Like one of the two N's, I think, is doubled, and the T is doubled.
It's kind of like banana. You just start spelling what you think is Cincinnati, and just double some I's and some N's in the middle, and throw in a T. People will know what you mean because
Yeah.
nobody else knows either.
At least in Mississippi, everything's like all the middle consonants are doubled. It follows a pattern. You go M, and then it's an I and a double letter, and an I and a double letter, and an I and a double letter, and then an I at the end. There's
Makes
four
perfect
I's.
sense, like Arkansas.
Yes. And Kensaw. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I lived in Kansas for a little while. Saying it that way just don't feel right. Like when we were ranting the other day about Beatrice. Place names that are not pronounced the way they are spelled. The name of the town in Nebraska just over the border where we had friends was spelled Beatrice, like the name. I should go back and add that in post while I'm gesturing here, like have it appear above my hands. Beatrice.
Letter wipe.
But you pronounced it with the emphasis on the at. It was Beatrice. When you put the emphasis on the wrong syllable like that, it just comes out sounding wrong.
Like the funky cold Medina.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Exactly. I can I can spell Cuyahoga. I cannot pronounce Medina.
Years and years and years ago, almost 2 decades ago now, I worked for a little actually legitimate startup, small startup out west, and I was an employee. I wasn't a contractor. So they had to do all the actual for real tax paperwork on my behalf. Like they had to go and create an account in the Ohio tax system and then register all the shit so they could pay taxes to the right thing. And I lived at the time in Jason's basement. Actually, no, by that point I was upstairs.
Yeah, I think you were
Anyway,
in
I,
Blue
I
Room.
lived in the house where he's at. And it's in Cuyahoga County. And the very lovely office lady who did all the admin stuff because we were a bunch of grown adult children nerds, so she did all the important shit like that, was like, I hate where you live. All of the city options have way too many letters and I don't know how to pronounce any of them.
Parma.
Well, no, that's a city. All of the counties.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, she's
Tuscarawas
like,
and
yeah. I'm like, what? She's like, what is going on? I'm like, they're all Indian names.
yeah,
She's like, oh, I'm like, yeah, a lot of them are named after the tribes that lived in that area. They sort of just settled around it and like, okay, that's this area, that's it. Like, she's like,
yeah.
oh, that makes so much more sense. Like, yeah, it's not English is the problem.
Chillicothe, exactly. Yeah, they're
Yeah,
all over the place here. Hi, buddy. Hi. You want to come say hi to everybody? He's being very good and handsome, but he is over here looking for attention. Everybody say hi to Dino. Hi,
you know,
Dino. He was so good today. He was so good today. He was just taking a nap on the futon, had his little head resting on the pillow and everything. He's such a good boy today. He's been a much better boy. I know most of the time that you see him, honestly, most of the time you see him, it's in the context of Rufus and that loud little wiener. Uh, it definitely sets off something in Dino. But in general, his behavior has been much better. Go lay down, buddy. Go lay down. Go lay down. Have your lunch. Go get your ball. I don't have anything to play with right now. I know we're trying to do this show. Mama will be back soon. Mama went out to dinner. She went to go see some family today. I'm just saying that when Rufus and Dino get together, they bounce off each other like a couple of pinballs. Neither one of them on their own is terrible, you know? They're good dogs. They're sweethearts. But the energy when they get together can get a little bit high. That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to talk smack about Rufus. I'm really not. I promise. Maybe a little bit. Only a little bit, though. Only a little bit. That's the upper bound. He's not bad as a rule. Anyway, I was going somewhere with this originally. I'm sure I was before Dino came over and started place names that are all wrong. Why are place names? Everywhere has their own flavor of place name that is inherently wrong everywhere else in the world.
Because French.
I could buy that. I could buy that. Kind of like the same reason that meats and animals have the same, yeah,
It's the animal versus
beef versus cow, chicken, poultry, pork, and ham and pig. Yeah.
yeah.
Languages are weird. Why'd they ever try to build that tower? If it weren't for that, we'd all be speaking Sam Herrick or whatever. I don't know. I don't know what they spoke. Okay, there's your thought
Sumerian?
question. Yeah, what did they speak at the time that the Tower of Babel was said to have been built? You know,
Uh
Galactic Standard. Yeah,
it, huh.
maybe it was a language that doesn't exist or there is no record of because the shuffling of languages at the
Right.
destruction of the Tower of Babel created new ones. And interesting thought experiment. We'll have to follow up on that in the Discord. Yeah. He's running through the list in his head now.
Yeah, I'm trying.
It was Dutch.
Like, it's got to be some like Proto Latin or something.
Parent language, Proto Indo European, Samharic,
Yeah, yeah.
Proto Brahmic, whatever. Yeah.
Huh. Never really thought about it.
Strange things that creep into your head. Yeah, so it goes. So, as we're setting up for the show, in case you don't know, maybe someday I'll show a behind the scenes. I play that BRB scene, but Fuzzy and I have our little communication channel open here. So we can either do planning if we're going to do any planning or just kind of talk about what's going on or hey, this is why I'm late. Hey, this is why I'm early, you know. Make sure you ask me about blah blah blah. A dear sweet friend of mine, Indy, like I shouted her out and everything, got me into Racoin because they've got the playtest going on. She sent me an invite. And I almost canceled the show tonight so I could sit and play more Racoin. I have a problem, and I stole the problem for the title of today's show, which is The Dopamine Machine, because I very much enjoy psychological treadmills, and this game is a perfect example of that. I'm going to lose so much time to this. I'm so excited because it's amazing. It's fun. It's awesome. It's everything I dreamed it would be, and I cannot thank you enough for that. But like, it's easy to get just zoned in and hooked on that stuff. And this ties back. I'm going in a weird circle here. This ties back to the way I do my game development. Fuzzy and I butt heads a lot because I don't plan very well. And that is because when I'm working on a game, for me, it is a process of discovery. I like the overwhelming majority of the time, I do not know what I want when I start making it. And
Nope.
it evolves out of that. And what I should do is I should go make it, make all those discoveries, document them, throw away the one I made, and then make it right from the ground up once I know what I want to exist. Or that is a way it could be done, at least.
I think back when we were in school, that was the kind of before programming existed type thing of what the point of write the outline before you write the paper is. In the process of making the outline, your brain goes through effectively that make one to throw away stage because it's like,
Yeah.
okay, well, how do I want the structure? I want it like this, I want it like this. And your brain like goes through the work and makes the thing without actually doing it, shakes out that bad one out of the cobwebs, and then so that the first one you do right is the good one.
With that said, once again, I find myself distracted by a project that I should be working on, a real project and not this. Um, you saw a little piece of it on whatever day I showed you. When were you here? That was Monday. Was that all the way back
Yeah.
on Monday already? Have I been doing this for a week? Um, Speepo, friend of the show and friend of mine, friend of ours at Hergel. Um, we were talking somewhere about the dedicated fishing controllers for video games. It's like a little fishing reel, like a rod and reel without the full extent of the rod. You just have the handle and the
Yeah.
reel.
Yeah.
And which games use them and how many fishing games were on each console. And the conversation turned to, well, what counts as a fishing game versus a game that has fishing? And then the accusation came out, are we going to count Jay's eventual fishing deck builder Sudoku? Because you know me. That combination of buzzword mechanics is absolutely something I would do. And I was so offended that I'd been pigeonholed like that I started writing it.
God damn it, Jason.
I agree. Anyway, fish digits. That's what happens when I don't have the name first. A lot of the times I have the name first. This time I did not have the name first. The concept landed on me. And the best I could come up with is fish digits. And the more I say it out loud, the more it's sticking. It's like a SpongeBob swear word. Ah, fish digits. It is. But yeah. I'm approaching it as a make one to throw away. And I am approaching it as a figure out what you want by trying things and seeing what you like and what you don't. We'll see if we end up throwing it away and making a new one. We'll see if it even comes out or it's just something we give to our friends. But I can't stop myself from making it because the process of discovering what makes a compelling game is another one of those dopamine machines. Fuzzy knows that from his life simulator, I'll bet you. He's planning, but each piece as you work on it drives you to make the next piece.
Yes. I wanted to add more the rest of the jobs. So I did. And then I realized, oh, the higher level jobs, you actually need not just experience, you need the stat attributes too to drive you to go into the other systems, not just grind out experience. I'm like, okay, then to get those, we need books. Oh, it means I have to go make the whole bookshelf system. Okay, now I have to go duplicate the entire food purchasing system to buy books. Okay, well, they don't just redeem. Now, how do I redeem the books? Okay, that's a different system because you have to consume them multiple times to get it. Oh, wait, I need an entire attribute system. So I got to have that and a whole interface to do that.
And it branches out. And you have to keep track when it extends out. And if it extends in a linear direction, you can do that. If there are like little offshoots, you can make a note, come back and do this as I extend out. But when it branches off, one of those things you have to write down. The other one you're going to do right now, one of those things you have to write down.
I'm a big fan of putting to dos inline in the code. If they're not immediately. That's a philosophical discussion, kind of. What is okay, I need to write a ticket to do this later versus, hey, eventually when like, to do actually have this check it, but for now for debugging, like don't have it check the cost, just do the effect.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you wouldn't go write a ticket for that, but it's like as long as you have some way to find those to dos and actually action on them later,
Like that to do tree
maybe.
plugin.
Oh my god, that when I showed you that, and we brought it up on the Let's Cafe code, and it was just full of all the to dos that we had left across all of the files.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay, hear me out. I don't know how to connect to GitHub yet. I'll have to look into that. But we have to do tree is a thing that exists. Generically searching code for the word to do after a comment is a thing we can do. There's a potential use for a tool, whether or not it's AI enabled. I know that's a whole different discussion, but there's the thing for a tool is go through all the to-dos, write a ticket, add the reference or link to the ticket in the to-do.
Yes, absolutely. Prevent you from committing any code, like, or like, hey, are there any to dos that don't have a ticket reference number?
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And then agentic things to do those to-dos for you after you get the tickets written up, but blah blah blah. That's a whole different conversation there. But yes, I think something like that probably exists already. But, we are programmers and wheels are really fun to reinvent.
Have you seen the meme of this? It's like a saw set. It's like on the table before
I
you
am
is a
I am
perfectly good
Jigsaw,
wheel.
yeah.
Hi, my name's Jigsaw. Welcome to my room. On the table before you is a wheel. The your goal is to leave the room without reinventing it.
Yeah.
The door is even unlocked and it's even propped open. All you have to do is walk out of the room without reinventing this wheel.
Hang on.
And the next panel is a I've seen one that was like an Arch install screen.
Hello, Linux developer. On the table before you, there is a perfectly functional wheel. There is nothing wrong with this wheel at all. The door is open. You can leave without recreating this wheel at any time.
It's not wrong.
You
It's
have
not
microphone
wrong.
effects?
Yeah, I have a vocal processor over here.
I thought it died.
No, I got it working again. That's the one I thought died, but it was the plug on the outlet thing that I had, the 6 bar, that had like
Oh,
some of the sockets go bad on it.
I have a whole this box. You can
Yeah.
that box and that box. We discontinued or discombobulated my computer, and I had just all the cables we just threw in a box. I'm like, I'll go through them later. So I sat down and went through them, and I bagged them all up.
Yeah.
I bought a box of cheap 1 gallon size bags from Walmart, and just like, here's all the webcams, here's the lighting kit, fuck zip ties, put your cables in bags.
Smart man. Smart man.
Because then, if it's a weird specific thing, you can write a post-it note and put it in the bag. And then you're like, what's this thing? Oh, it's got a note inside of it. You don't got to worry about taping it. It's just in a sealed container.
It's a way
But
to
as I did
do
that,
it.
I separated all the power stuff. Like anything that was an extension cord or a power strip or the little like 4-inch breakout cables and stuff. All the power stuff's in one box over there. I had a whole like 12-port power strip that was not, it was plugged in, but nothing was connected to it. I'm like, what even is this?
Ain't that always the way, man? Ain't that the way? But yeah, no, I have the vocal effects box, so I can do all that stuff, and it does actually work. And I replaced the 6 bar that I had. It was the Power Cube, because you know how those
Oh,
started having the socket failures.
yeah.
When I was cleaning my room, I threw that away because the sockets were bad on it. It had been sitting in there for a while because like 2 of the 6 worked, I think. Still, I'm not sure. But because it was not working, I threw it away, and I'm so proud of myself for that. I am not good at throwing away broke. I am not good at throwing away things that aren't completely broken. But it was broken enough that I had purchased a replacement, so I put it in the garbage. And thirsty, huh? Your container reminds me. Speaking of dopamine machines,
Look, okay, I have free will, and I was thirsty, and I didn't have any big cups, but I had numerous cereal containers that were freshly washed out. And I'm like, there's nothing stopping me from just taking a cereal container, filling it with ice and water, and just look. It's got a grippy thing on it. I just drink.
let's talk about ice. You want to talk about dopamine machines?
Yes.
I
Tell me about ice, Jason.
I bought an ice maker because the fridge freezer in the basement that had an indoor ice maker finally died, blah blah blah. And all summer I had been thinking my freezer is too small. I don't have ice cube trays that make a shape I can stand. Excuse, 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 excuse. I went to Zeldathon in July, and it was
Mm-hmm.
held on whatever the hell planet we're on now. Was that Saturn? I don't even remember. At the facility of undisclosed location. And someone asked if there was any place to get ice in the building with the chill room and the set and all of that. And there was not. And my good friend CWA Grant said, I'm going to Walmart to buy an ice maker. In my head, there's only 2 ice makers. There's the one that lives on your fridge. Okay, 3. The one that lives on your fridge, a
Right.
giant industrial grade restaurant sized one, and the
Right.
GE Opal that makes nugget ice and is $700. It's countertop size, but it makes the crunchy ice, right?
There's knockoffs of those out now, and they're pretty good.
There are. There are. That's
Yeah.
not the one I got. That's not the one I got. But I discovered that you can get a countertop ice maker for under $100.
Oh yeah.
I did not realize that before Zeldathon. And then I went to Zeldathon and I had fresh ice every day to make my iced coffee. And then I came home and no longer had ice because I wasn't at Zeldathon. And then, 2 months later, I'm like, I can buy the same ice maker for less than $100. Do you know? Since I got the ice maker, I have stopped my monster deliveries. I just make a cup of iced coffee in the morning instead of having a monster because I have ice. And somehow that makes it equivalent in me. Like they counterbalance out enough that having an iced coffee in the morning is as good as having a monster. I'm not giving them up or anything, but I'm no longer on a subscription thing. When I want one, I will go get one. I don't have a case of 12 arrive every 2 weeks and buy 2 more to make up for it, so I have one for every morning. But man, that thing has been running since we got it. Because it's not very big. It's a countertop ice maker. It doesn't make a ton of ice. It makes it at a reasonable speed for you to drink a drink. By the time the ice is gone and your drink is gone, there's more ice.
Is it just like a? It's got to be just like a little Peltier thing, right? Or
Yeah,
does it have an actual compressor?
I think it's got a very small compressor.
Okay. I'm gonna say if it was a Peltier, like, how much are you spending in power to make ice.
Well, it does have a warning sign that says it uses a flammable refrigerant, so it's got to have a compressor in it.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Okay.
how the refrigeration cycle works, as our good friend Technology Connections is happy to remind us every opportunity he gets.
Look, man, he knows two things:
And both
the
of them are
Phillips
the refrigeration cycle.
the
Yeah,
refrigeration cycle, and
and the
then that
CED,
Phillips
the
CD that
CED,
the CED.
capacitive electric disc. Yeah, capacitive.
God, how long was that? Like 5 or 6
Five,
episodes?
5-part series, and each one was in the neighborhood of an hour, I want to say.
Oh, it was way over an hour.
Yeah, no, fantastic videos, though. I actually still
Oh,
have the player in the basement. I haven't thrown it away yet, and a handful of discs for it. I'm sure they don't work, but it's still down there.
you should see what you have and actually go look at, find some interest groups or something and post like, look, I have one of these. I don't know what condition it's in. You know, even if the machine itself doesn't work,
If you want one for
people will
parts or
buy.
research, yeah,
Yeah,
I should do that.
because especially like weird little spindles or drivers or something that still works, but it's like short of having somebody like CNC it on a lathe,
Yeah,
and it's not even something you could like manually do on a lathe because it's like a weird part, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna sit down and lathe like 5 or 6 of these out and have them in stock.
I should do
That's
that.
why the secondary market on old handhelds like Game Boys and stuff was
Yep,
so high,
yep.
because it wasn't people buying them, it was buying them for like replacement buttons or things. Or, I shit you not, they were even salvaging, if like the contacts were corroded, they were chopping out the areas of the board from like a dead board where the button contacts were, and they were lasering out and dropping in and then making little bridge connections for where the cross things where the
Yeah,
pads go.
yeah.
They were just like transplanting good connection pads as a chunk in the middle of the, because they weren't multi-layer printed circuit boards.
Right,
They
right. They
were
were
like
all just
surface
surface
traces
print. Yeah,
only. Yeah, and they're just like, we'll just chop it out and put a new one in there, but they want the same, because in some cases the distance of the length of the trace mattered. So like they needed the exact same style thing, and they couldn't just replace it because they had to like tune. It's like, no, we just need to put the exact same physical contact on there.
it's wild, man. That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to pare through the old game stuff I have. I should see if I can find an interest group for the CED stuff. I need to put the instruments up on the instrument thing. I should make a to-do list of all of these things. I'm
I gotta
I'm
figure out something to do with my Commodore.
yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man. Too much stuff. Too much stuff. There's I'm surprised how little of it I'm interested in keeping, or how my meter for what I want to keep has changed over time. Like I'm genuinely surprised at what's no longer of great importance to me to hang on to, you know? It's weird to see how that's changed over time. Because there's a lot of it I'm like, no, I absolutely want to keep this, and there's a lot of it where I still say, yes, I absolutely want to keep that. But there's just as much where I'm like, if this leaves, I'm not going to be upset. If I can get a few dollars for it, all the better. But if this leaves, I'm not going to be upset. But yeah. And while I'm doing all of that, I ought to put some stuff up in my Etsy store. If you were here on Saturday and saw Sunday, if you were here over the weekend and saw me making notebooks, I did get more cereal. We were talking about the boxes of cereal and the variety packs.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have one that's just boring cereal. They're usually very, very heavy on the sugary ones. It was a challenge to find a variety pack that included 1 cornflakes, and 1 raisin bran, and 1 Special K. It was a 10-pack, and 3 of them were different boring cereals, adult cereals. But what did you miss? You missed Fish Digits, and you missed Racoin, and you missed the Ice Maker, and I think that's about it. But yeah, while he's handling that, the variety pack I found had like 2 Fruit Loops and 2 Frosted Flakes and Corn Pops and 2 other sugary things. I don't remember what. They weren't Apple Jacks, but it had 1 each of the Corn Flakes. And yeah, point is, I need to find more either variety packs that have adult cereals or see if I can get multi packs of the individual ones. I like Raisin Bran. I would eat 40 boxes of Raisin Bran, not at once, but over time. And the thing is, if I'm getting them for the boxes, I'm not entirely sure where I'm going with this, but I have at least some idea where I'm going with this. If I'm getting them for the boxes, it is. I want the boxes. I'm happy to eat the cereal to get the boxes, but I want the small ones to make small notebooks. It is more economical if you want the cereal to get a big box of cereal. I would eat
Right.
a big box of Raisin Bran, but I do not want the big box. I want the little boxes. So I should look into not wholesale clubs, not like Sam's or BJ's or Costco necessarily.
GFS, maybe?
See if there is an actual wholesaler that sells, because they make them. Someone has to sell them. Institutions carry them. I just need to figure out where to get them if that is what I want. A large quantity of individual serving boxes of Raisin Bran or Cheerios, although I think those are all cup. I think Kellogg's does the boxes still. I think General Mills only does cups now.
Interesting.
I should look into that more too. But now we're down a rabbit hole of research on the internet, so I can make scrap notebooks nobody's gonna buy. It's that dopamine machine, man. It really is. Research rabbit holes are their own kind of fun. You have an idea, and then you just
Yeah.
absolutely slaughter it. You chase it all the way down. Eddie, welcome. Happy today to you. So yeah, I'm gonna do the research. I'm probably not gonna end up buying a case of a gross boxes of Raisin Bran. I might. I don't know. I know what the other one was. The other one walks a weird middle line between sugary cereal and adult cereal, and it's Frosted Mini Wheats. They are sugary, but they are the least kid friendly of the sugary cereals because it's shredded wheat. They're like, here, take the boringest of the possible cereals and then glue some sugar to it.
Do you know what cereal I forgot that I liked a lot until I bought some, and then I'm like, oh, this is actually really good. Basic regular life cereal.
I have not tried that in a very long time. I will have to go look.
It's good. It's got flavor to it, but it's not just here is sugar, like
Yeah.
so many of them are. And like, you know, blood related, sugar related problems aside, like sometimes I just don't want just sugar flavored.
Yeah.
You know, I want flavor to it, not just. I don't want frosted flakes. I want something, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. I get it. And it's like in the same vein, I have developed an entirely new appreciation for Cheerios, like Cheerio flavored Cheerios. Not. I love the honey nut ones. I like some of the other flavored ones, but like just not overly sweetened Cheerios. Just plain old Cheerios are way better than I remember them being. While we're talking about food, I'm going to change the subject entirely. You know what else is really good? You ever had a Reuben?
No.
Okay, so I know you have, but the point is corned beef, sauerkraut, Swiss cheese, Thousand Island dressing, right? If you leave off the Thousand Island dressing and the Swiss
Okay.
cheese, and you replace the corned beef with just plain roast beef, I don't know what to call it, but my roommate works at Arby's, and right now regular roast beefs are 4 for $10. And I just bought
Only if you order in the store and you tell them it does not exist
Yes.
anywhere other than the television.
Yes, it's not in the app. It's not in online orders. You have to go in. I think you can do it in the drive-through too, but you have to tell them in the drive-through.
Right.
To be like, I want the 4 for $10. You have to say it to a person at the store. Is the important part. So if I take a regular roast beef, and I just bought that jar of sauerkraut because I had all the extra sausages and everything. Take a regular roast beef, throw on a fistful of sauerkraut. It's so good. It's like Reuben Essentials. I'm not sure what it is. It's perfect though. Buddy, calm down. Be cool. But yeah, I've been enjoying those a lot recently. Also, I think I told this story elsewhere, but I'm not entirely sure. Stop. I made something, and I can't remember what it was, and I wanted sauerkraut. So I went and I got a jar of sauerkraut out of my pantry, and I discovered that it was out of date by several years.
Was it load-bearing sauerkraut?
It happens. Sometimes I forget about things like that. But in my head, my first reaction was like, it's fermented cabbage that's also been pasteurized. How bad could it go? Do you know what happened to that jar?
What?
The top corroded
On the inside?
from the acid in the kraut juice.
Don't they have like a seal?
Yes, but that only works for so long because it's exposed to acid over the course of several years too long, you know? So I had a jar of sauerkraut in my pantry that had been neglected for the lifespan of sauerkraut plus 3 years. I'm sure, incidentally, I ate more sauerkraut during that time frame, but point remains. So I bought a fresh jar of sauerkraut 2 weeks ago, I think, which is now 2/3 depleted. Once it's open, it goes quickly. If it is not open, it does not exist to me. It is not in my line of sight. Sauerkraut is not a thing unless every time I open the fridge, it's looking at me with its little Polish-style label and the caraway seeds peeking out like little eyes going, eat me, eat me. And if it's sitting there in the fridge like that, just ready, I'll pop it open, grab a fork, and put it back in the fridge. And eat two-thirds of a jar of sauerkraut all by myself because I'm the only one that eats it in a week and a half, 2 weeks, you know? And I am the only one here that eats it. I am acutely aware of that. I got the face. You know, when you're making a grocery list and you're like, oh yeah, can you get me a jar of sauerkraut? And they go like, I guess. What's wrong with cottage cheese? What's wrong with sauerkraut? I want
Nothing, but people
mustard
don't
for
eat
my
them.
hot dog.
out of the jar whole.
Yeah, I know, I know. And I know I was telling you how excited I was. I think we're at the end of the season for the firecracker sausages. I think I missed it. I think they're gone now. I think they're seasonal, and I think they're no longer available at the grocery store until next summer. And I didn't get 50 packs to fill my freezer with. Now I have to eat boring, normal people sausage every day for a month. You know, because tell me you're neurodivergent without telling me. I buy them in bulk because that is what I am going to eat until I am out of it. Every day I'm going to have the same thing. Not because it has to be the same thing, but because I'm too lazy to change what the thing is. But yeah, I'm going to look again. I'm going to give one more pass at the grocery store and see if anybody has the firecracker sausages. Because if they do, let me tell you. I mean, I know this sounds like common sense when I'm saying it. Firecracker sausage on a bun with the sauerkraut and a little yellow mustard on top. Perfect. Magnificent.
Yeah.
Best sausage. Best sausage for that. Hands down. And it's not just a spicy Italian sausage. I checked. But yeah, no. You find a thing that's like, okay, I not only is my hunger sated, I feel better after eating this. I'm going to eat that every day until I no longer feel better after eating that and it just satisfies my hunger. When it loses the comfort component, I switch comfort foods. And I'll rotate through a few. And right now we're back in the sausage phase.
The sausage face.
Come November, December, depending on the price of everything, it's going to be eggs again. And I'm going to make an egg sandwich every day. Or if eggs are no longer economically viable at that time, it's going to go back to ramen. And I'm going to be making ritual ramen again every day. Like in the very first show we ever did. And I described my overly elaborate procedure. Yeah. J.A., a 44-year-old man, presented to the emergency room.
Basically, yeah.
It's also like I don't eat just the same thing. I have variety in other meals, but at some point during the day, I have a meal that is a comfort food like that, and it sticks around usually at the same time. I either have the same thing every night, or the same thing every day for lunch, or the same thing every day for breakfast. And then when that switches, the time might switch too. I might go from having sausage for lunch every day to ramen for a midnight snack every day. And there are other things around it that change. And I'm making sure I eat vegetables too. I bought a giant container of dried vegetables, dehydrated vegetables, already pre-diced.
Ramen topping.
Yeah, basically. And those are so easy to throw in anything and get a serving of vegetables. So, we love you too. Hope your day day at work goes well, Red. Thank you for joining us. Whew. Boy, that was difficult to get through. But yeah, it may not be a perfect solution, but it's a hell of a lot better than not eating a fistful of dried vegetables moistened into something else. You know, some vegetable is better than none, even if it is not nutritionally ideal. Because I remember too many episodes of House where there was a nutritional deficit because someone couldn't or wouldn't eat whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I know to eat different things. I have the comfort thing and then I have the variety. It's like drinks. My meals are like my drinks. I have several different ones and each one has a different purpose. There's the comfort meal and the nutrition meal. And sometimes you can combine them. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like when I bought the thing of
Golden
gyro
seagull.
meat. Are you winning, son?
I've got a fishing game over there, and a golden seagull appeared.
Do they do a cool thing?
Yes.
Is that the idle fishing that I see you playing frequently?
Yes.
Like that's actually the title is idle fishing.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I like two things. I like fishing games and I like idle games. And I found one where you idly fish.
Well, boy, howdy, have I got a game for you. Who do you want a fishing Sudoku deck builder? God damn it, Speepo. What
No.
was the other one I got accused of recently? I think it was Very Pink Penguin said something about a roguelike Monopoly, and I don't remember what his third thing was, but he took
Oh. Oh.
Fuzzy's getting like
Oh, I'm
ASMR tingles over there from that combination.
Oh God.
You want to trade? I'll make the the fishing deck builder Sudoku, and you make the Monopoly roguelike whatever. I will go find that comment. We're coming up on break time. When we take our break, I will go find that comment that Very Pink Penguin made and send it to you. There's your project. There's your dopamine machine to get lost in. There's your. I'm just saying. It's an option. It's an option. And
No, I'm having too much fun playing writing this stupid clone.
Yeah. Life Sim is pretty neat. Did you push any of the updates to that yet?
I can.
Okay. I'll kind of hold off until you update on that, but I am always interested in seeing your new stuff as new stuff gets added.
We'll see what happens over the break.
That sounds good. That sounds good. Speaking of which, it is about time for us to take our break. We're gonna take 5-ish minutes. I'll run kind of some mid-roll ads here. I'll take Dino out and make sure he's doing okay. Get his water, get his whatever. You guys go get some water too. Go to the bathroom if you need to, preferably not in the front yard. We're going to run some ads. We will be back with you in just a few. See you shortly. Hello, all. Welcome back to the Blue House Bull session. Back here, bulling with you. Happy Friday. We have all been snacked and watered, as far as I can tell. You've been snacked and watered, right? Taking yourself to the facilities or what have you. I got Dino Bino a treat.
Wasn't kidding.
Yeah.
I wasn't kidding. And see, yeah, it's heavy, but I've got the arm strength, and
It has a handle. That is the important part. It has a handle. Welcome, Gulth Razul. Welcome. Welcome.
and I get thirsty.
Just what I need. Another cup of coffee. To keep me going. I got a long night ahead of me of Sudoku deck builder fishing. I have a list of things I want to do, not just for that, but in a broad sense. I have a list of things I want to do this weekend, and I will make sure that they get done. Because I know we were talking about, here we go, Hergel minuting again. Everybody buckle up. What is actually left before we come out of early release with Let's Cafe? And I have some of the fixes in place for that stuff. And I want to share how I came across them and make sure they look good to everyone. But I think we are about at the point where we can do that and come out of early access. There is still more we want to add, but
Yeah.
there's nothing I feel, aside from the stuff we had already discussed, that is holding us in a this is not done yet state. We had concerns around the server stability stuff.
Yeah.
And that was really pretty much it. And the Mare Chicken thing. The intro thing.
Yeah, we should decide how many of the other pie in the sky ideas I had we want to do.
Yeah.
And if we sit down and do a push for it, we could probably hammer those out.
Well, again, there's nothing stopping us from adding them at any point in the future. We just no longer have to say, "Hey, we're not quite done," because at this point we are done. We are past done. We are well done. We are congratulations. I literally lost it laughing the first time I heard that. That steak is past well done. It's congratulations. Yeah. Exactly. That is what happened.
It yeah.
Not exactly a slow burn, but it takes a second to catch, and then when it catches, your brain just yep, all at once. All at once. But I have baked in around working on the stuff I need to do. Time to work on fish digits. And there's not really an and there. The and is just, and I've been writing down the things I want to do. So I may not have a plan, but I have individual plans. I may not have a grand unifying plan. I have individual plans. This is a thing that should happen. This is a thing that should not. I have not put them in a cohesive thing yet, but and I'm also still working on Awa. Especially after the character. I love that character so much. Oh, I love that character so much.
Is it any way related to Uvu?
Yes, as a matter of fact, it is. The difference is in the spelling. One is spelled O-V-O-O, and the other one is spelled O-V-O-O.
Oh, okay.
Look, it's Jacob's pet project. I'm stealing it, but that doesn't mean I'm going to change the name on him. And all of this is predicated on whether or not I spend my entire weekend not blinking playing Raccoon. Because it's not WarioWare fast paced, but it is WarioWare levels of compelling to me. You remember when the first WarioWare dropped? Yes, you remember that intimately well. I know you do.
Mm-hmm.
And I spent a weekend straight playing it, not blinking, not sleeping, not breaking for much of anything. Yeah. So it is already dangerous. I'm hoping if I play enough of it, the novelty will wear off, or I'll see something and it'll give me an idea. Because then the other part of this dopamine machine working on whatever, this is not a smart thing to be waving around. The other important part of all of that is if I have an idea, capital letters, that can break a treadmill for me. It starts a new one, but it can break a treadmill. If I'm locked in on one thing and I have an idea, like someone says, Sudoku deck builder fishing, it can
Mm-hmm.
completely derail me. And that's good when I'm stuck. That's good when I'm overly focused. When I'm hyper focused past a good point and I have other things that are waiting for attention. Hell, Racoin in and of itself broke the Sudoku fishing fish digits train enough to remind me that I have other things to do. Does that make any sense? I hope that makes sense. I think it makes sense. But yeah, more game stuff. Join the Hergel Discord. Be the first to find out about whatever goofy stuff we're doing. Where's my command? There we go. That's for the game stuff. Come hang out there for the game stuff. If you want to hang out for personal stuff, here's the personal Discord. By the way, people of my Discord, in collaboration with fans of Amaya Sings, who has her own little like area in my
Corner.
Discord. Yeah, she has a corner of the Discord where like we try not to be too degenerate, but we are going to do a big hangout tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern. We are having a Garfield cart night. Come play Garfield cart with us.
You guys kept saying that, and I thought it was some like minecart racing in the Garfcraft server or something. I did not realize that Garfcart was an actual thing until I saw it completely separately on the Steam Reddit talking about Garfcart, and I'm like, oh,
It's
that's not a Jason thing. That's an actual thing. Oh God.
not only is it a thing, it is a series, and the new one is supposed to be coming out this year. Yes, Garfield Kart is a legitimate series of kart racing games in the Garfield cinematic universe. So yes, come play Garfield Kart with us tomorrow night, or just come hang around in general. We're going to be doing a hangout at 9 p.m. We'll be playing Garf Kart. Play it if you got it. Hang out if you don't. Make sure you're in the Discord. We do goofy stuff like this every once in a while. I'd like to do more of it. I'm trying to get myself to do more of it. I enjoy it when I do it. It is difficult to schedule my time sometimes, but I enjoy it very much when I do it. And then Sunday we'll probably do a cleaning stream again because I like cleaning. People enjoyed it. People had a lot of fun. People showed up and said they enjoyed working on stuff together. People liked working on the notebooks. I was crabby. I went back and through some of that, and I was crabby. I was not at my peak for that. But I'm not sure what we'll do cleaning wise or productivity wise this weekend. But Sunday evening, we will do a productivity thing of some sort. Come hang out and cow orc with us.
You know what I should do?
Hmm.
I should like rent you as a streamer to like come stream a cleaning session here.
We could probably do
Bring
that.
bring you out, bring your laptop, set you up, and you can stream cleaning my basement, and we'll stream and we'll hang out here and go through stuff and move stuff around and talk or something.
I could get into that. I could absolutely get into that. I think that'd be neat. I also ran lo-fi for a while. I'm sure you noticed that if you were there for any of it, that I had the dynamic procedurally generated lo-fi, and every once in a while I would wrinkle my nose because something just did not fit together well.
Oh, that was your lo-fi thing?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you just had like some like music thing on in the back.
No, that was actual lo-fi.
Huh.
But you know how it's been like a year and a half since I worked on that project?
I just found the files for it from some copy you gave me like a
Yeah.
million years ago.
Yeah.
I had a folder called USB from Jason,
Everything
and it was the
What?
lo-fi files and something else you gave me.
everything is way out of date there, and I have not updated the GitHub repo, but I need to do that. But I did use some of our AI assistant type tools just to get it back in date. Say, okay, apparently all these APIs changed and all of this other stuff. Can you update this? Don't change what it does drastically. Just make sure it actually does it now. And that was very nice to have. That was very handy. That saved me a lot of time, especially since I didn't plan for that. I was just like, I need a source of music. Hey, I wonder if. So that was like 5 minutes of fixing that would have taken me significantly longer. But with that in mind, it is also on my list to give that project a little bit more TLC and get it going again. Especially with this cool new fiber connection I have. That it's been about a year, I think. But I've had fiber for a while, and I actually have the bandwidth that I could just run it.
Remind me. Well, you know what you could also do is you could, like when you weren't using, like during the day and you're not using your computer, although you kind of are sometimes, or have another machine dedicated for this, you could we do have that Let's Cafe Twitch account. You could put up chill mode and just have it streaming, because it is Let's
Yeah.
Cafe, so you are technically in Let's Cafe,
That is true.
and just stream that all the time and just get all the watch hours banked up, and we'll just get.
You're a crazy man, and I like it.
And then the Hergel, like, do a shared stream with the Hergel account.
No, the Hergel account's going to be running Can Do watch mode.
Yeah.
Or any of a number of other watch things I have made. Okay. I enjoy boring things in a broad general sense. I enjoy boring YouTube videos and stuff. There's a lot of projects I have written that just show or play or do something like that in a web browser. I have a Sudoku solver that narrates the process. It's not amazing, but it is functional. I could go back and make it better, but I wrote it just because I wanted to watch and listen to it. In theory, though, I could do YouTube videos. Here's the daily Sudoku. Here's an auto-generated video of a Sudoku and a narration of solving it that's machine generated. Not AI generated for the ickiness, but it's or I could just have it solve puzzle after puzzle after puzzle and stream on whatever streaming like those are options I have for those, and I've written several things like that because I like to watch them.
If you didn't have the bad habit of taking your machine with you to Zeldathon,
that is no longer a thing. But go on.
But if you got into the habit, well, no, because you'd probably end up taking. Knowing you'd take your computer and no, because you have a working laptop now.
Yes.
Say if you got in the habit of streaming can do in self-play mode during Zeldathon, we could switch it over to that Zelda themed one and just have it playing the Zelda can do.
A lot of the reason that I had been taking my machine is there was no dedicated PC to run games that needed to run on a PC. And rather than have everyone bring their own, I brought mine and everyone installed whatever on it.
Right.
But this time around, there is a plan for there to be a dedicated machine owned by Zeldathon for doing Zeldathon streams. So now I can just take my laptop. I don't have to take my whole desktop with me. And if I leave it at home, I can still remote into it and do anything I need to that way. But I can also
Just
leave
like
it up doing whatever else.
Parsec or something.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
Chrome Remote Desktop or whatever.
Does that still work?
Yeah. I use that all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. I used to use that and it kind of worked. And then like it would sometimes not work at all and I could never figure out why. Like oh, maybe it's like, they wrote this in a weekend as a lark and then just like never did anything with it and just sort of languished.
No, it still works well enough to do just about everything I need to do. Most of what I use it for is I need to do a specific thing with my computer as the source.
Right.
It has to happen on my machine. So it's like I log in, I do the one thing, I log out from whatever device I'm on. I think I was yelling to you before about the HP Omen gaming hub and having to install that to turn off the LED on the front of my desktop.
Yes.
Okay, I can control that from the couch with my phone. I use my phone, I Chrome Remote Desktop into my PC, I turn it off in HP Omen Gaming Hub. I force exit HP Omen Gaming Hub because I hate having it resident. I hate that I had to use it in the first place to turn off the damn light. I should just cut the traces on the board. But I can turn off the light on my computer from the couch. And Chrome Remote Desktop is the type of thing I do.
Do you ever want it on? Can you not disable it permanently?
It remembers the state you left it in until something causes it not to, like an update. Then it restores it to the default. Yes, it feels to me like a very dumb thing, too. I don't want a million lights on my devices. I'm sure they're very pretty, but they tend to live in rooms where I sleep, whether or not they're my bedroom. I want the ability to turn off the lights on my stuff. Yes. Okay. Now, what if you had, hear me out, what if your side panel was an LCD panel? So you could.
I love the front fans though.
They are pretty. I'm not going to argue with that.
And those top ones are actually tied to my CPU temperature.
Yeah, they're your warning lights too. But yeah, what if your side panel was an LCD panel? You hit a button and it sends enough current to turn it black, blocking out the light. Like that is a thing that I know you can do. But that way you'd have the option. Do I want the lights? Do I not want the lights? And it'd be at the press of a button. It's so pretty.
Come on, start, damn it. Why is it not starting? Oh. Oh, because Eve is already still running.
Are
I'm
are
like,
you
why is it not starting? Because it's already running on another desktop.
trying to set fire to your computer so you can show off the color changing? Is that what that was?
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. I'm here for it. I am absolutely here for it.
Oh.
But yeah, like I said, Chrome Remote Desktop primarily for me is a way to remote control my computer in a very literal sense. I need to I need to press buttons on my machine and I cannot physically reach it. I need to start something over there or change a setting over there. Almost everything else I can do over the internet in general from whatever machine I'm on, you know? But
See,
yes,
I'd find a way to I'd find some third party tool that does the same interfacing that the Omen thing does, and then like schedule it to just like every 4 hours turn off the LED.
if it's already off, turn it off anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
turn it more off. Put it in second off.
You know what I you know what else I want while we're talking about all of this stuff? You turned me on to Govee as a company for like smart home devices, primarily
Yeah,
light bulbs, but they also make blah blah blah. I want
yeah.
to look into their curtain lights. I'm very curious about them because I want to know if they're I should go look if they are separate strands or not. Could I in theory use it as a beaded curtain?
Yeah. Usually
Because
it's
they
usually
always
just
show it
like
as a wall hanging, but
yeah, it's usually just like the old Christmas lights that had like it's basically a line of
yeah,
addressable LED by the thing that's kind of like pulse width modulation, but
yeah.
by the length of it, they can tell which light it is, and it's just that in a bunch of L lines down it. They just basically run like a 16 line bus off of the thing in like a very long off of the hub and down, off of the hub and down, just so it's hanging.
But it's like I know you can display an image on them by setting the pixels, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
I just love the idea of having a beaded curtain that I could show an animation on. It's so doofy, but I think that would be so neat. Because, you know, I don't believe in doors like an actual person. I'm some kind of filthy hippie.
I entirely believe that.
But yeah, they're neat. They're expensive, but they're neat.
The whole smart home automation like ecospace is going through a very very weird thing right now.
I've noticed.
It's simultaneously like it was about to get very good because Matter, the whole intra compatibility like language network thing that they were all just going to speak the same fucking language and talk to each other correctly, like it was finally getting finalized and starting to launch, and at the same time all of these other companies are starting to like shut down their shit because they don't want to get into that. They don't want to like go onto that, and that's going to be basically the new de facto. And if you're not playing with that, nobody's going to buy your shit.
Yeah.
It's going to be like a Betamax type thing, whereas everybody's independent, and then now they all kind of like conglomerate. And if you're not, they don't want to get into it.
Not
Like
necessarily
Belkin,
a polyopoly. They're siloing. There's they're expanding, but they're only expanding up and they're collapsing in at the same time. They're siloing.
well, no, it's basically if you're not going over to the new standard that everybody's going to everybody independently, they're all going to support so they can all work together,
Right.
then nobody's going to buy your shit. Because if you are standalone, it's like basically imagine if Macs and PCs, right? Imagine if every PC clone was all independent, but they couldn't run each other's programs, you know, like the old days. And then effectively they became, oh, they're all x86 or not x86. You're going to go with the one that I can release on and compile for x86, and it works on any type of computer that is vaguely x86 going forward,
Yeah.
or I can release it to work on Mac chips on an M1 or whatever.
Yeah.
What we just invented, what Matter basically is x86.
Yeah.
It's like, y'all can make your own shit, but as long as we all agree to this spec, it doesn't matter who you get. And like, I can buy an Alexa and it works with a Hue light, and I could buy a Go, like, but at the same time, Belkin is shutting down Wemo, and Singled is shutting down their whole light system, which was they were the backer for the Amazon Basics lights, which were also very nice. So like they're all shutting down, just going away in the beginning of next year. So it's like, why are you all going away right at the time when everything was about to get good?
Yeah. x86 picks up its name because it is from the family of the 8086 processor, which is a descendant of the Zilog Z80. So the 8086 led to the 8186, 8286, 8386, and any extension of that original set is an x86 processor. Also, as programming trivia, because it's come up before, x86 and x64 are the names they are because x86 is anything of the 80x86 family of processors with a 32-bit address line. The x64 is any of that same family, x86, that has 64-bit lines. So that's why it's x86 for 8086 and x64 for x86, but 64 bits wide.
It's also why they're inherently backwards compatible, because it literally is the old chip just with more layers of the onion wrapped around it, but the old shit's still in there. Like,
Yeah.
It's not even emulation. Like, it literally still is an X8, like an 8086 chip down in there. It still has the original instruction set in a tiny little corner because it's just more piled on, like stratification of stuff.
The Pentium processor, when it first came out, the Pent in Pentium was from 5 because it was the 8586 processor. It was the direct successor to the 8486, which is when we had numeric names, because your computer was a 286 or a 386 or a 486 until they wanted to give it a name. Intel wanted to brand the 586 in the x86 family, and that's where the Pent in Pentium comes from, because it was a 5. And now they all have names, and the numbers don't matter so long as they have that 86 at the end to indicate which family it is, which set of assembly instructions are we working with.
Yep.
And there are other 64-bit processors as well, like ARM, which is why x64 is used to visually indicate it's an x86 but 64 bits wide. Today in nerd history. Fun computer facts.
No, it's a very good question. It's like, why is that?
Yeah. Because it's 3 characters. It's much shorter than writing 32-bit or 64-bit. How can we represent it in the same space of 3 characters?
Otherwise, you end up with a USB naming thing.
Like the A and the mini A and the micro A and the B and the mini B and the
No.
micro B.
No. The USB 3.2 4x4 Gen Ultra 6 Deluxe. And people are like,
Championship.
what flavor of crack are you just injecting into your eyeballs?
Why is it still around in Windows 11? because people don't like losing backwards compatibility. Windows goes to great lengths to maintain that as much as possible. That's
Yeah.
why they stopped distributing Space Cadet Pinball, is there was an architecture it did not work for. So because it did not work for everyone, they took it away.
Yep.
The behavior was not consistent for all processors that Windows supported, so they did not release it after that point. Yeah. And that's thanks to banks. Financial institutions are some of the largest consumers of information technology, and banks always seem like they are way behind. And the reason they always seem like they're way behind is they don't want to make any change that could make anything old stop working because it's vital that they stay alive.
So the program files thing is because there's a little tiny thing. How do I explain this without getting like a 24-hour rant? You can go Google why program files x86. There's a lot of great articles on it. It's because of a really dumb thing, because at some point you had to have the version of it that was an x86 64-bit and an x86 32-bit program, and they sometimes you needed to have both of them on your computer as you were upgrading, but they didn't want to override it because it was a different program, and you may need both versions of it. Because if you had the 64-bit, you may still need to run the 32-bit version, so they need to have two places to install it, but things needed to, like, okay, we'll make a whole separate copy.
Yes,
because the programs are the same. Windows 11 isn't a whole new architecture. It's literally just more Windows. They did not change, and it's not radically different.
And I'm pretty sure you can run it on a 32-bit processor.
11 you can't.
Okay. Why still in 11 after that then? Because changing that behavior would make anything else that depends on that behavior stop working.
Because people could upgrade from 10 to 11. What they should have did, they should have broke tradition. Like, look, you cannot upgrade to 11. You want 11, you either get a clean system or you do a clean install. Because if you had programs in there in 10 and you upgraded to 11, the files didn't go anywhere. Your files are still on your computer. They just installed Windows over top of it. It's like if you open the hood and replace the engine in your car, you don't have to empty out the glove box. It's still there. It's like, we don't carry gloves. Why do I have a glove box? It's the same thing.
Yeah. Because there was a path that led there from a place where it was necessary. So they still support and expect it. Whether or not they make full use of it is beside the point. Hi, handsome. Mwah. I love you too. He's a good boy. Who's my good boy? Dino's a good boy. Do you like his orange vest? His little harness thing? He wears it well. I think orange is your color, buddy.
Banks don't upgrade stuff because there's a whole giant weird certification thing they have to do for anything that like processes money and its security, and to make sure it's a whole huge rigorous thing. And as long as you don't change it, you don't have to pay to get it recertified. Even though the technology changes and may not be secure anymore, your old certification is still good. It's like saying, I learned how to ride a bike once, I never have to relearn it again, even if bike technology changes. It's like riding an e-bike is very different, but I learned how to ride a bike once, so it's still good. That's fine. I don't like them either. I still use it.
It's a lot like how I feel about Adobe.
it's not even fair to say Microsoft is you got to remember Microsoft is a lot of different things. You know, it's you don't like the Windows team. Microsoft, like the Office, who the people who make Office, don't do anything with Windows or Xbox, but they're all still Microsoft, sort of. Microsoft also makes a lot of other products that have no way any of those things. Guess what? None of them talk to each other at
That's
all, ever.
that's also part of the reason we have the problem, to be rather honest with you, is that internal disconnect. But
Yeah.
at a certain size, that's kind of necessary. Yes, you can have one more cracker. You're just going to set it on my floor for me to step on later. Okay, just checking. Now I know. Watch for small Ritz mines in my floor. No, he actually ate that one. I stand corrected. I'll be. He likes Ritz crackers, but he doesn't always eat them. It's so weird. I don't know. I don't understand dogs. I barely understand computers, and that's what I do all day. We had kind of a fun and exciting day at work today. Boy, howdy. Everything is happening all at once. I'm kind of used to that, but not entirely used to that. I don't know. Point is, it's release time. We're doing regression testing.
We're approaching the end of the month, and my company does a lot of bank stuff, sort of money related. A lot of things with money and properties, but also like a lot of reports get run as you approach near the end of the month because you got to real estate stuff, right? And so everybody starts running all their stuff to get before the end of the month, and everybody's running everything at the same time. And the other day, like one of our biggest server clusters where all the new modern thing is, including all the people we just upgraded, are all running shit at the same time. And this is the first month after a lot of people upgraded last month. They're all running on the same the SaaS product. It's all on the same cluster, and they're like, oh, maybe we need to have more than let's see, it's seven workers per machine, and I think they only had five workers in the cluster. Like, if we have everybody that's on like 35 workers total then. But it's like, maybe if it's the only cluster that the newest version is on and we just migrated like a few dozen big people from the old version to this new one, maybe we ought to add more workers to this cluster, and maybe bump up from 7 to 8 jobs they can handle since it's newer, and maybe add a 6th or a 7th worker to maybe handle the load.
Yeah, one would think.
And we had a log jam basically, and people were writing like, hey, we're running these reports that usually only take a few minutes, and they've been sitting there waiting to get started for a while now. And a lot of people noticed because everybody reported all the same. We had rush hour basically.
Yep.
Nobody drives because the traffic's too bad because everybody's on the road driving, and we're like, spread your shit out.
Yeah.
Someone magically found a few extra things on the cluster, like, oh hey, there's more machines we just never turned on. I'm like,
that should not be a thing that can happen. You should be aware of them at least. There's no finding these things.
Well, the point where I was going with that is different parts of the company don't talk to each other. Apparently, infrastructure didn't know that we migrated a couple dozen huge people last month to that cluster.
Yeah, that would do it.
And also, the infrastructure team also didn't tell the transfer teams that the new cluster, version B, was online, ready to go, to start putting the new people on that one and not keep cramming them on the one. I don't want to say the name out loud to dox us or anything, but like, It's like, oh, that would just solve it.
Left hand, right hand, yeah, 100%. If there was a way to.
It's. I made this analogy at work, and my boss just like, oh my god, so like the whole like left hand doesn't talk to the right hand, except the company is like Vishnu.
Yeah. The left third arm doesn't talk to the. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's like a hydra, only instead of heads, they're completely separate dragons, but they're still somehow the same animal.
They're just glued to each other.
An animal that is just 7 separate dragons. What a D&D monster that would be. It is technically an enemy. It has 7 separate bodies that are each a dragon. That's so weird. That's so
Well,
weird.
it's always the question of does like the multi-headed Tiamat, does the Hydra get separate breath attacks? Does each head get its own breath attack? Where does the breath come from? Does it come from the torso up through the neck, out through the mouth, or does it generate in the head as a magical force? In which case, all of them would get it versus one. Does it get one breath attack with 7 targets, but at lesser damage, or can it focus all that breath power out of one head into one target?
That's so today's research rabbit hole. Let me just put that on my list of things I need to look up now too. That's wild. I hadn't really
Step
thought
1,
about
I
that.
polymorph the Tarrasque into a chicken.
Drop a whale on him. Drop a whale on him. That's always the solution. Get your druid to summon an animal way up high in the air and make sure it's a big one.
It worked, didn't it?
It sure did. It sure did. It was just an anvil made out of whale meat, and you totally went Wile E. Coyote on him.
It was a room full of kobolds.
I love all those like weird rule technicalities where a D&D player does something absolutely unreal. I raised the temperature inside your head by 3 degrees. What do you know? It's enough to shut down your whole system. Who'd have thunk it? That's a space, right? Oh.
There's a whole ongoing debate about that. If the create water, the inside of a person counts as a container.
I love you too. BRB, I need to go boil my face. Dogs are wet and cats are dry.
Except your cat, which is very wet.
The one drooly cat, yes. Apparently I have a very small cut there. I don't have wet wipes handy. All I've got are alcohol swabs.
So other than coin pushers, what have you been playing this week?
Well, let's see. What have I been playing this week? I can be kind of a completionist sometimes. Not always. Sometimes I
Yes.
can get past it. But I have been going through 14 Minesweeper variants. It is the name of the game is 14 Minesweeper variants. And finishing out blocks of the puzzles there just because they have a ton of puzzles with different sets of rules and you can unlock more difficult ones and all of that. You definitely need a cat. I don't know if you need a dog. That's just my personal take. I love my cats. I love the dog too. Sometimes I'm not big on dogs as a rule, but this dog's pretty okay. But I've been playing a lot of 14 Minesweeper variants. I was going to play more Eye of the Commando, but I think it's broken. I'm not sure if they pushed an update that doesn't work for me or I corrupted something, although I did a check integrity of my files. But something is busted in my install of Eye of the Commando. Because I was going to play more of that. And I didn't because it's not working. I am finishing up the last levels, I think, the last level pack in Eyes That Hypnotize. 'Cause that one's really cute. That one's a lot of fun. It is a polyomino puzzle with cute animals that make noises. But that's one of those that Indy gifted me. I did go back and play a little more Digsium, but I'm trying to like complete the rest of Eyes That Hypnotize right now. But that's most of what I've been playing. I think is those 14 Minesweeper variants and Eyes That Hypnotize. And Racoin today, starting at 5 p.m. on the dot and not 3 p.m. while I was still working. It's Friday evening, right before release week. I actually have. There is work I want to do this weekend. I cannot say I have work to do this weekend. It could wait till Monday, but it would be waiting till Monday morning. I'd rather do it this weekend so that I do not have to morning so hard on Monday. Yeah, Eyes That Hypnotize is super, super cute. I absolutely love it. And you know what? I'll tell you. I'll be completely and totally honest with you because we have talked about this on and off the whole show. You know what I've been playing a lot of this week? Fucking Fish Digits. Because there's just so many things that I keep saying I want to add, and then I add it, and then I go back and see if it's any fun. And if it is, we keep it and polish it. You know? I'm in the process of making the game that I want to play, and as I play it, I find out more of what I want. And you know
Nope.
what?
Nope.
I'm probably going to lose the deck builder mechanic because I can't figure out a way that I like having it in there. So technically, I will not have written the joke, but I will have made a game that I enjoyed playing out of it. But yeah, that's what I've been doing with my copious free time. How about you? What's been in your regular rotation?
That's what I was looking up. Where's uh what have I actually been playing? Not just like running.
Yeah.
I started there was a couple new rooms on Escape Simulator. There was some community ones posted a few weeks ago that I finally picked up and started. The detective's office. It was actually pretty fun. Was working on Beltomatic again.
Yeah.
That is surprisingly fun, even though I hate math. Going through a whole bunch of demos and stuff
I
that I
have
had.
been.
Like I was going, like I was going through like what do I have installed but also unplayed, and just going through like I do not like this. Uninstall, remove from my account.
I
I
have
do
been
not want to own this.
on and off trying to complete Backpack Hero as well. I'm down to like the more difficult of the storyline quests because the quests have different restrictions. But I
Mhm.
will try one of those, fail it 3 times, and then do a no restrictions run just to make myself feel better because I failed. It's frustrating. Although there's a character I really like in Backpack Hero. As far as weekend plans, man, I'm just working on whatever projects I can. I got the Garf cart thing tomorrow night. I'm gonna clean on Sunday, but aside from that, just sit and fart around on a computer. That's what I like to do. We'll see what happens. I try not to plan too far in advance, and too far in advance is like more than an hour for me. You know what I do have planned for this weekend? Can I announce something here really dumb? I
Yes.
just as we were doing the show, got a message from my dear sweet friend Danny Music, who is also going to get a shout out here. / shout out Danny Music. My dear friend from the Zeldathon team, who said he is going to be showcasing Link to the Past on Ice, which we put together for Zeldathon, on the Fastest Furs Twitch channel. He says it's kind of like GDQ Hotfix, but smaller and furrier. He's practicing tonight and tomorrow, and then on Sunday at 4 p.m., he will actually be doing his showcase there. So make sure you're following Danny Music. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go look. Is he live? Because I think I know where we're going to raid if he's doing his practice on stream. I don't see him. Oh, I do see him. I do see him. Yeah, I think we're going to go crash in on him. You guys want to go watch some Link to the Past on Ice? I'm into it.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely here for it. All right. We'll go wrap up. I'm going to go see what Dino's barking about, and then we're going to hang out with my dear sweet friend Danny Music. As always, I want to thank you guys so very much for being here and hanging out with us today. Let me type my raid command, and then we'll do the BRB message. Raid, Danny Music, let's do the thing. As always, I am Jay Artist, joined by my best friend in the entire universe and co-host Uber Fuzzy. I hope I pointed the right direction that time. Thank you so much for being here on the Blue House Bull session. Like I said, join the Discord, follow Danny, join the other Discord, play Hergle games, buy Let's Cafe, do all the things. Do all the things. We love you. We appreciate you. We will see you next time around on the Blue House